All right, get ready, because today we're going to take a deep dive
Ooh, deep dive.
into the world of glucose.
Love it.
We are going to be talking about the Jay Shetty podcast episode
Okay.
with Jessie and Chaspe.
Yeah.
The glucose goddess herself. And I am so excited to really get into this.
Yes.
Because we all know sugar's bad for you.
Yeah.
Right? And we've heard that a million times, but it's not always obvious.
Right.
Like it's not just the candy bars and the cookies.
Yeah.
Even healthy sounding foods
Yes.
can totally mess with our glucose levels.
It's true. So important. And I think a lot of people think of glucose as like energy, but it's so much more than that.
Okay.
It's like this invisible conductor in our body,
Mm.
and it affects everything.
Okay.
It affects our mood, our energy levels, even how our skin ages.
So I guess first we need to define what
Yes.
glucose is.
Yes.
It's basically just our body's main fuel source, right?
Yes.
And it comes from the carbs and sugars that we eat.
Exactly. But here's the thing.
Okay.
Too much glucose
Okay.
is like overwatering a plant. Okay.
Interesting.
So when you overwater a plant and then the roots can't get enough oxygen and then the whole thing kind of dies?
Wow.
That's kind of what happens with glucose.
Got it.
If we have too much of it, it can lead to a whole bunch of problems in the body.
So that's when we get those glucose spikes.
Exactly.
It's like that overload of fuel.
Huh.
Um,
And you can imagine your cells are finely tuned race cars
okay, yeah.
and glucose is the fuel.
Okay.
But when you suddenly flood the engine with way too much fuel,
Yeah.
what happens?
It's going to sputter.
It's going to sputter.
It's going to backfire.
Yeah, it's not going to work. And eventually it can get damaged.
Okay, yeah.
So these glucose spikes, they're like these sudden fuel dumps.
So it's not just about an energy crash.
Yeah.
It's actually damaging our cells.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so what kind of damage are we talking about here?
All right, so first up, we have the mitochondria.
Okay.
Those are the tiny powerhouses inside our cells.
Yeah, yeah.
And a massive glucose spike is basically like throwing a wrench into their gears.
Ooh. Not good.
They get overloaded. They
Overloaded.
can't function properly.
Yeah.
And over time, that can lead to chronic fatigue.
So it's not just that you feel tired after you eat a big meal.
Yeah.
It's long-term damage.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, long-term damage to your cellular engines.
Oh, man, that's a little scary.
And it gets worse.
Oh, no.
So that process when you cook food and it browns?
Like the Maillard reacts.
Yes, like the Maillard reaction, exactly.
Okay.
It's called glycation. And guess what?
What?
The same thing happens inside our bodies with age.
Really?
Yes.
Our bodies are browning.
Basically, yes.
Oh, no.
Excess glucose can actually speed up this browning process.
Okay.
And this contributes to aging and wrinkles.
So, we are literally cooking ourselves from the inside out.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, that's kind of terrifying.
It is a little bit terrifying. And to top it all off,
Uh-oh, there's more.
there's more. These glucose spikes,
Oh.
they trigger inflammation throughout the body.
Okay.
And chronic inflammation,
Yeah.
it's linked to so many health problems. It's like having tiny fires burning in your system constantly.
Wow. So we're cooking ourselves and setting ourselves on fire.
Yeah, basically.
It's a bad combination.
Not a good combination.
Okay, so I think before we dive deeper into specific foods and all the hacks and all that stuff,
Yeah.
I think it's important to mention that this is especially important for people who are managing diabetes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Understanding glucose is key for them.
It is, yeah.
And speaking of managing blood sugar,
Yes,
have you heard about Defender?
I have, yes.
Okay, so Defender is designed to help manage blood sugar levels.
Yeah.
And we'll put a link in the episode description. But you can also find it at https.tinyurl.com/tinyurl.com. https.tinyurl.com/TTPS.tinyurl.com.
Okay, great.
So now back to those sneaky glucose spikes.
Yes.
It was so interesting to me to learn that even healthy foods
Yeah.
can cause these massive spikes.
Yeah.
What are some of the worst offenders?
Oh, well, you'd be surprised. Okay.
Okay.
So it's not just the obvious, the sugary treats.
Right.
Breakfast is often a major trap.
Really?
Yeah.
I always think of breakfast as the most important meal.
I know, right?
Okay.
But think about it. Orange juice,
Yeah.
cereal,
Yeah.
even smoothies.
Oh.
They can be loaded with sugar.
Okay.
And that sets you up for a glucose roller coaster right from the start of your day.
Yeah, it's you're starting your day on a roller coaster when you really want to
Yeah.
be on a nice leisurely stroll.
Exactly. A smooth, steady ride.
It's so crazy how we've always been told that breakfast is so important.
I know, right?
And, like, those are the healthy options.
I know, and they seem healthy.
Right.
It's so deceiving.
Okay, so it's not just breakfast, though, right?
No, it's not just breakfast.
Like, what about snacks?
Snacks can be tricky too,
Oh,
even
right.
like seemingly innocent snacks like grapes
Yeah.
or dried fruit.
Really?
Yeah.
Dried fruit gets me every time.
I know, right?
It seems so healthy.
It seems healthy, but it's so concentrated.
Okay.
It's basically like eating, a handful of sugar cubes.
Wow. Okay, so if we're ditching the sugary breakfast,
Okay.
what's the best way to start the day?
Okay, so Jessie Inchauspé, the glucose goddess,
Yeah.
she's a big fan of savory breakfasts.
Oh, okay.
And I think she's onto something.
Okay.
Starting your day with a savory breakfast
Yeah.
helps to avoid that initial glucose spike.
Okay.
And that sets a more balanced tone for your energy and your craving
Okay.
throughout the whole day.
So it's like we're choosing a different path.
Exactly.
We're choosing the scenic route instead of like that bumpy dirt road.
The bumpy dirt road that leads to sugar cravings and energy crashes.
Okay, so I like that analogy a lot.
Thank you.
She also talks about this like parallel universe
Yes.
when you switch to savory breakfasts.
Yes.
What's that all about?
Okay, so think about it this way. When you start your day with a sugar rush,
Yeah.
you're essentially setting yourself up for cravings,
Okay.
fatigue, and inflammation all day long.
Okay.
It's like you're stepping into a world where you're constantly battling your own body's signals.
It's like you're fighting against yourself.
You're fighting against yourself, exactly.
Okay, so savory breakfasts are gonna like put us on the right track.
Yeah, it helps to keep things running smoothly,
Yeah.
avoid those wild swings in glucose,
Okay.
and it keeps you feeling more energized
Yeah.
and focused throughout the day.
So we're avoiding the roller coaster.
We're avoiding the roller coaster, yes.
Okay, now let's be real. Like sometimes those pancakes are just too good to resist.
I know, right? So is there a way we can still enjoy those things,
Okay.
but not totally sabotage our glucose levels?
Absolutely there is.
Okay, good.
So one of the most groundbreaking discoveries in glucose research
Yeah.
is the power of food order.
What?
You can eat the exact same meal,
Really?
but just by changing the order in
Mhm.
which you eat it,
Yeah.
you can dramatically impact your glucose response.
Wait, so it's not just what we eat, it's
Yeah.
when we eat it.
It's when we eat it, yes.
This is mind-blowing.
It's so cool, right?
Okay, I need to know more about this food order magic.
Okay, so imagine this. Okay,
Uh,
you're at a fancy restaurant,
I love fancy restaurants.
right? And they bring you a basket of bread before your meal.
Oh, yes. Right.
The best part.
The best part. But here's the thing.
Okay.
That bread is strategically designed to spike your glucose
Oh, no.
and then make you crave more carbs later on.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Okay, so are you saying, like, we just need to, like, refuse the bread basket?
It's not about deprivation.
Right.
It's about strategy.
Okay.
So when you eat vegetables first,
Right.
the fiber in the vegetables, it creates a kind of protective mesh in your intestines.
Okay.
Think of it like setting up a speed bump
The speed bump.
for glucose absorption.
Got it, yeah.
So it slows down that sugar rush
Oh,
from
so-
the rest of the meal.
So we're basically, like, prioritizing the
Yeah.
veggies
Yes.
to lay the groundwork for, like, a more balanced response.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay, I love how simple that is.
Me too.
It's just like rearranging what's already on your plate.
Yeah, it's not about, like, crazy restrictions or anything.
Yeah.
Just small changes can make a big difference.
Okay, so we've talked about meals. What about snacking?
Ah, snacking.
Like, I'm a big snacker,
Yeah,
but I'm guessing that, like, those potato chips, probably not the best.
you're catching on.
Okay.
So Jesse has this rule.
Okay.
Never eat carbs alone.
Never eat carbs alone.
Okay.
Always put clothing on your carbs.
What does that mean?
Okay, so it means don't just snack on, like, a piece of fruit
Oh, yeah.
or a handful of pretzels.
Okay.
Always pair them with something
Right.
that will help minimize the glucose spike.
Okay.
So protein,
Okay.
fat or fiber.
Okay.
Think like apple slices with nut butter,
Okay.
crackers with cheese,
Yeah.
or even just adding some nuts to that piece of fruit.
Oh, so we're like slowing down the
Yeah, yeah.
absorption.
Exactly. Yeah, and burning an avocado in a box,
Okay.
okay, to measure their calories.
Got it.
They might have the same caloric value,
Okay.
but that doesn't mean they have the same impact on your body.
Oh, that's such a good point.
Right.
It's not just the quantity.
Yeah.
It's like the quality.
The quality, yes.
Okay.
And like the molecules in the food
Yeah.
that really affects our health.
It's like saying a cup of sugar
Yeah.
and a cup of broccoli are the same.
Exactly.
because they take up the same amount of space.
Exactly, but they're so different.
But they're so different.
They're processed differently by the body,
Yeah.
and they have different impacts on our glucose levels.
Okay, so like calorie counting can be misleading.
Yes, it can be.
Okay, so this whole conversation is making me think we like really need to move past that
Yeah.
calories in, calories out mentality.
Totally.
And like really focus on like the bigger picture of
Yeah.
nutrition.
Yes. And speaking of a bigger picture, the link between glucose and mental health is fascinating.
Oh, that was like one of the things I really want to talk about because like it's not something we usually think about.
No.
So how does glucose actually affect our mental well-being?
Well, think about it. Our brain cells rely on glucose for energy, right?
Okay, yeah.
Just like every other cell in the body.
Yeah.
And when our glucose levels are unstable,
Yeah.
those brain cells, they can't function optimally.
Okay.
It's like trying to run your computer on a flickering power supply.
Okay, so we're not just going to like feel tired.
Yeah.
It's going to affect like our focus,
Yes.
our mood,
Yes.
our stress levels, all that.
Exactly. All of that.
Okay.
And there's some really interesting research that supports this.
Oh, okay, like what?
Jesse talked about this study with married couples
Okay.
and voodoo dolls.
Wait, voodoo doll.
Yeah, voodoo dolls.
Okay, now I need to hear about this.
It sounds crazy, but it illustrates the point perfectly. Okay.
Okay.
So researchers gave each person in a couple a voodoo doll.
Okay. That represented their spouse.
Mm.
And they asked them to stick a pin in it every time their partner annoyed them
Oh, okay.
over a certain period of time.
Got it.
Okay, so the results were fascinating.
What happened?
The people who had the most unstable glucose levels,
Okay.
they also stuck the most pins in their voodoo dolls.
Oh, no.
They were more irritable,
Okay.
more easily triggered,
Yeah.
and less able to handle those everyday annoyances.
So basically, our blood sugar is like directly impacting our
Yeah.
relationships.
It can, yeah.
That's kind of scary,
It is a little bit scary.
but also really fascinating.
It's fascinating, and it just shows how powerful this connection is.
Yeah.
You know, we often blame external factors
Yeah.
or personality traits for our mood swings.
Yeah, like, oh, that's just how I am.
Exactly.
But sometimes it really is just our blood sugar.
Just sometimes it's as simple as that.
Okay.
Our glucose levels are just out of whack.
So if we want to be like better partners, better friends,
Better humans, getting our glucose under control is like a really good place to start.
absolutely. It's about creating that foundation
Yeah.
of stable energy and
Yeah.
mental clarity,
Yeah.
which allows us to like show up as our best self
Yeah.
in all areas of our lives.
Totally. And, you know, it makes me think about, again, like those people who are managing diabetes.
Yes.
This is just another area where that Defender product might be like really helpful.
Uh-huh.
You can find that information again at https://tinyurl.com, Defender Sugar Defender, https://tinyurl.com/Defender Sugar Defender,
Perfect.
or in the episode description.
Great.
It's just a good reminder for all of us
Yes.
that we do have a lot of control over our health
Absolutely.
and our well-being.
Yeah, it's empowering.
Now, we've talked about diet, we've talked about food order.
Okay.
Are there other like lifestyle factors
Yeah.
that can help keep our glucose steady?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like what?
So movement.
Yeah.
Movement is a powerful tool.
I love movement.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
So when your muscles contract during exercise,
Yeah,
they use up glucose for energy.
they do.
Right.
Yeah.
So Jesse recommends this really simple hack.
Okay.
After each meal,
Yeah.
get moving for just 10 minutes.
10 minutes, that's it.
That's it.
Okay. That seems doable.
Right.
So like a brisk walk,
Yeah, brisk walk.
like dancing around my kitchen,
Dancing around your kitchen.
like putting away the dishes.
putting away the dishes, all of that.
Okay.
Anything that gets you moving
Okay.
doesn't have to be intense,
Yeah.
but that little burst of activity
Yeah.
helps your muscles soak up some of that glucose
Yeah.
from your meal,
Got it.
and it prevents those big spikes.
I love that these hacks are all about like small changes
Yeah.
that we can actually do.
Sustainable changes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not about like overhauling your entire life.
Yeah, no one wants to do that.
And those small changes, they can make a big difference.
They can, and those choices can have like a ripple effect. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, they can lead to more energy, better mood,
Okay.
and even improvements in other areas of your health,
Like what?
like sleep.
Oh, sleep.
Yes, sleep.
I love sleep.
Me too. Who doesn't?
But, you know, a lot of people struggle with sleep.
Yeah.
Is there a connection between sleep and glucose?
There is.
Okay.
It's a two-way street.
Oh, interesting.
So when you're sleep deprived,
yeah.
your body actually becomes less efficient at regulating glucose.
Okay.
So you're more prone to those spikes
Yeah.
and crashes throughout the day.
So basically, like, if I don't get enough sleep,
Mm-hmm.
I'm more susceptible
Yes,
to those glucose swings.
exactly.
Okay.
And then on the flip side,
Okay.
being on that glucose roller coaster
Mm-hmm.
can actually disrupt your sleep.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It can lead to those like frustrating middle of the night wake ups.
Oh. The worst.
The worst. And just less restful sleep overall.
So it's like a vicious cycle.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
If you want to sleep better,
Mm.
getting your glucose under control is essential,
Okay.
and vice versa.
Got it. It's
Oh,
all connected.
It's all connected.
Oh.
So, we talk about all these different things,
Yeah.
but it's really about addressing one aspect of your health.
Yeah.
And often you'll see improvements in other areas as well.
Like a domino effect.
Exactly, like a domino effect.
This makes me think about, like, pre-workout snacks.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, should we be fueling up before we exercise?
Okay, so it depends on the intensity and duration of your workout.
Okay.
So if you're going for a light walk
Yeah.
or doing some gentle yoga,
Okay.
you probably don't need anything beforehand.
Okay.
But if you're like hitting the weights hard or
Yeah.
doing a HIIT session,
Okay.
your muscles need readily available fuel.
Okay. So what would you recommend for, like, those more intense workouts?
Something with a bit of glucose
Okay.
to provide that quick energy,
Okay.
but also some protein and fat
Okay.
to help stabilize your blood sugar and prevent a crash later on.
Okay.
So a banana with nut butter is a classic choice.
Yeah, I love that one.
You could also try like a small piece of sourdough bread
Oh,
with
yeah.
avocado,
Okay.
or even just a handful of almonds with a few berries.
I like it. Simple and effective.
Exactly. Simple and effective.
Now, when it comes to glucose hacks, I got to ask about vinegar.
Ah, yes, vinegar.
Like, I've heard so much about it
Yeah,
that it can help lower those glucose spikes.
it's true.
What's the science behind that?
Okay, so vinegar contains acetic acid,
Okay.
and acetic acid can actually slow down the breakdown of food
Okay.
into glucose
Okay.
in your body.
Got it.
So think of it like putting like a gentle brake
A gentle break.
on the digestive process.
I like that. I've
Yeah.
also heard of people, like, taking shots of vinegar.
Yeah.
Is that necessary?
No,
Okay, good.
definitely not.
Oh,
In
good.
fact, taking shots of vinegar can be really harsh
Yeah,
on your teeth and your stomach.
I can imagine.
Yeah, so a much better way to incorporate it is by diluting it in water or
Okay.
using it in a salad dressing.
You know what? I actually tried the shots of vinegar once.
Oh, no.
Not my favorite,
I can imagine.
but I love it in a salad dressing.
Yeah, it's much more palatable.
Yeah, for sure.
And, it's all about finding those ways to make these hacks
Yeah.
enjoyable and sustainable. You don't want to be forcing yourself to
Yeah.
do things you hate.
No.
There are always ways to adapt these principles
Yeah.
to fit your lifestyle and your preferences.
This is so great.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not about deprivation.
No.
It's not about strict rules.
No.
It's about, like, understanding our bodies
Yes,
and making informed choices
exactly.
to support our health.
Yeah.
And, speaking of support,
Yes.
let's talk about supplements.
Okay, supplements.
What role do they play in, like, managing glucose?
Okay, so supplements can be helpful,
Okay.
but it's important to remember they're not a magic bullet.
Okay. Yeah.
They should be used in conjunction
Right.
with those foundational lifestyle changes. Got
Right.
who we've been talking about?
So, like, the cherry on top.
The cherry on top,
Or
yes.
That's the whole sundae.
Not the whole sundae.
Okay.
So Jessie actually developed her own supplement
Oh, really?
called Anti-Spike.
Anti-spike.
Yeah.
Right.
And it combines a blend of plant extracts
Got
that
it.
have been shown to help reduce glucose spikes.
Okay, what's in it?
Okay, so it contains white mulberry leaf extract,
Okay.
lemon balm extract,
Mm.
cinnamon extract,
Oh,
and antioxidants from green vegetables.
okay.
And all of these ingredients, they work together to slow down glucose absorption,
Okay.
reduce inflammation,
Okay.
and support overall metabolic health.
So it's not just about, like, tackling the spikes.
Yeah. It's also like looking at the underlying metabolic processes.
Exactly. It's a holistic approach.
Okay.
And for some people, supplements can be a really valuable part of that.
Okay.
But again, they're not a replacement
Right.
for those foundational lifestyle changes,
Okay.
like diet,
Good.
stress management, and sleep.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about taking control of our glucose,
Yeah.
but there's been a lot of buzz lately about this medication.
Yeah.
Ozempic.
Ozempic, yes.
For weight loss
Yeah.
and blood sugar control.
Yeah.
So, like, what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so Ozempic, it has definitely been making headlines,
Yeah.
and it sparked a lot of conversation
Yeah.
about weight loss and diabetes management.
Okay.
And for some people, it's been a game changer.
Oh.
You know, it's helped them achieve significant weight loss
Yeah.
and better blood sugar control.
Okay. So, are there any concerns?
There are some concerns, yes.
Okay.
One concern is that while it can be effective in the short term,
It's not a long-term solution.
okay,
It's a medication that needs to be taken continuously,
okay.
and there can be side effects.
Okay, so it's not like addressing the root cause of like
Yeah.
the weight gain or
Yeah.
blood sugar issue.
Exactly. And there's also the concern that this focus on a quick fix might distract from the importance of making those
Yeah.
sustainable lifestyle changes that can actually lead to lasting health.
Right. It's like putting a Band-Aid on the problem without really
Yeah.
getting to the root cause.
Exactly. So while medications like Ozempic
Yeah.
can be helpful for some people,
Okay.
it's really important to remember that true health and well-being
Yeah.
come from making those fundamental changes
Okay.
to our diet, our movement patterns, our overall lifestyle.
It's like we're building a foundation
Exactly.
for good health.
Yes, a strong foundation.
Okay, this is a good reminder
Yeah,
that there's not like a one-size-fits-all solution.
absolutely not.
It's really about finding what works for you.
Exactly.
And prioritizing those sustainable changes
Yes.
that can like support your long-term health.
Exactly. Long-term health, that's the key.
Okay, you know, when it comes to understanding food,
Yeah.
I remember Jesse talking about like the importance of food labels.
Oh, yes. Food labels are so important.
That's like becoming a detective.
a food detective, exactly.
We gotta like really look closely.
Yes, go beyond just glancing at the calorie count.
Okay.
You know, become a food detective.
Yeah.
Understand the ingredients in what you're eating.
Okay.
The ingredients list is your roadmap. Okay,
Okay.
it tells you exactly what's in that product.
Okay.
Arranged in descending order of weight.
Oh, okay.
So if sugar is listed as one of the first few ingredients,
Yeah.
that's a good indication that the product is high in sugar,
Got it.
even if it claims to be healthy or low calorie.
It's amazing how sneaky those sugars can be.
Oh, they're very sneaky.
They hide everywhere.
They do. Food manufacturers can be quite clever with their marketing and labeling.
Yeah, we got to be like really aware consumers.
Yes, discerning consumers.
Okay, so this whole conversation has like really shifted my perspective on like our relationship with food.
It's not just about what we eat. It's about how we eat,
Yeah.
when we eat, even why we eat.
It's like mindful eating.
Mindful eating, yes.
Like really paying attention to like what our bodies are telling us.
tuning into your body,
Yeah.
paying attention to how different foods make you feel,
Yeah.
and making choices that align with your health goals.
It's like moving past that
Yeah.
restrictive diet mentality
Thanks, Dad.
and really embracing like a more
Yeah.
intuitive and sustainable approach
Yes, that's the key.
to
Sustainably.
nourishing our bodies.
I love that. Nourishing our bodies.
Okay, one of the things that really stood out to me
Yeah.
was Jessie's personal story
Yes.
about how she discovered the link between glucose and mental health.
Yeah, that was powerful.
It's amazing how like something as simple as
Yeah.
stabilizing your blood sugar
Yeah.
can have such a big impact
A huge impact.
on your mood
Yeah.
and your emotional well-being.
It's amazing. It really is.
It really is.
And you know what? It's a testament to the
Yeah.
interconnectedness of our physical and mental health.
Yeah, we always like treat them as separate things.
I know we do.
But they're not.
They're so connected.
Okay, and it's empowering to know
Yeah.
that we actually have control over these things.
Yes, we have more control than we think.
Like we don't have to be victims of like
Yeah.
our moods
Exactly.
or our energy
We
lurking.
can take proactive steps
Yeah.
to create more stability
Okay.
and balance.
And it's not about like being perfect, right?
No, not at all.
It's about like progress,
Progress over perfection.
not perfection.
Absolutely.
There will be days
Yeah,
where we have those sugary treats
of course.
and we experience those glucose spikes.
Yeah, it happens.
And that's okay.
That's okay. It's about
Yeah.
learning from those experiences
Yeah.
and making adjustments as you go.
It's a journey.
It's a journey, exactly.
Okay, this whole conversation's got me thinking
Yeah.
about the importance of food education.
Yes, so important.
Like, we learned so much in school
Yeah.
about like math and science and history,
Hmm.
but how many of us actually understand nutrition?
It's a critical gap in our education system.
Yeah, like imagine a world where everyone
Yeah.
understood like the basics of glucose,
Yeah.
how to read food labels,
Exactly.
like how to make choices
Yeah.
that support their metabolic health.
It would be amazing, wouldn't it?
It would be game-changing.
Game-changing. We could prevent so many chronic diseases and
Yeah.
empower people to take control of their health.
From a young age.
From a young age, exactly.
And you know, Jessie actually said something similar.
She did. She said her ultimate goal
Yeah.
is to become irrelevant.
What?
I know. Meaning that this information would become so common knowledge
Yeah,
that everyone would just understand it intuitively.
I love that.
Right.
It's such a beautiful vision
It is a beautiful vision.
for like a future where we're all equipped
Yes.
with like the knowledge and the tools
Yeah.
to make informed choices
Informed choices about our health.
about our health.
And you know what? It's a vision we can all contribute to by
Yeah.
sharing this information with our friends and families,
Yeah.
our communities.
Yeah.
We can help spread awareness
Okay.
and empower others to take control of their well-being.
This conversation has been so eye-opening.
It's been great.
It's amazing how much we can learn
Yeah.
just from like paying attention to our bodies
Yeah.
and like understanding the science
The science of food.
of food.
Yes.
It's amazing.
It is. It's a reminder that knowledge is power.
Yes.
And when it comes to our health, that power is transformative.
We're going to take a quick break
Okay.
to gather our
That
thoughts.
sounds good.
But don't go anywhere.
No,
Because when we come back,
Okay.
we're going to wrap up this fascinating discussion about glucose
Okay.
and give you some final takeaways and actionable tips
Perfect.
to implement in your daily life. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. It's been amazing exploring the world of glucose.
It has. I mean, it's amazing how this, seemingly simple thing
Yeah.
plays such a huge role in our health.
Yeah, it really is the conductor
Yeah.
of our internal orchestra.
I love that analogy.
You know, as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I keep thinking about Jessie's emphasis on listening to our bodies.
Oh, so important.
It's so easy to like get caught up in like
Yeah.
the latest diet trends
Oh,
or like
yes.
health advice.
Yeah.
But like our bodies are really the best guides.
They are, yeah.
Yeah.
Tuning into those like subtle cues,
Yeah.
those whispers from within.
Yeah.
That's where the real power lies.
It's so empowering.
It is.
Like how do certain foods make you feel?
When-
What like energizes you?
Yeah.
What makes you feel like sluggish?
Sluggish,
Yeah,
tired, irritable.
like those are all clues.
Yes.
Speaking of individuality,
Yeah.
I was so fascinated by Jessie's final 5 responses in the podcast.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
Especially the one about like symptoms being messages from our bodies.
Yeah. Such a good point.
It's like instead of viewing symptoms as like
Mm.
annoyances
I know.
or like inconveniences,
Yeah?
we can start to see them as like these valuable signals.
Yeah. Like little whispers from
Yeah.
our body trying to tell us something.
It's like our bodies are sending us like little notes.
I love that.
Being like, hey, like something's not right here. Can you
Yeah.
like help me out?
Exactly. And instead of like masking those messages
Yeah.
or trying to silence them with a quick fix,
All right.
we can actually pause,
Yeah.
listen,
Yeah.
and investigate
Okay.
what might be causing the imbalance.
It's like being a detective.
Yes, a body detective.
Yeah. Okay. This also made me think about
Yeah.
when she was talking about like what advice she would give her younger self.
Oh, yeah.
She said she would tell herself to have a fruit smoothie first thing in the morning.
So funny.
It's kind of ironic
It is ironic.
considering everything we've talked about.
I know, but it just goes to show
Yeah.
how much our understanding of nutrition has evolved.
Yeah. Like what we thought was healthy back then.
Totally.
Totally different.
Yeah, we know so much more now.
Right.
It's a reminder to just stay curious,
Yes.
Remain open to new information.
Yes.
Be willing to adapt
Yeah.
as we learn and grow.
Okay. Another one that I really liked
Yeah.
was her favorite health advice.
Oh, yes.
It was so simple.
So simple.
Wear sunscreen,
Wear sunscreen.
drink water.
Drink water. That's it.
Like so basic.
I know, but it's so
But
true.
it's so important.
It's like those foundational habits, those
Mm.
like small acts of self-care
Yeah.
can have a huge impact on our overall well-being.
Like we're protecting our skin from the sun.
Yeah.
We're staying hydrated.
Yes.
Those are like acts of nourishment.
Acts of nourishment and self-respect.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then like to wrap up the final 5,
Yeah.
if she could create one law,
Yes.
it would be to ban all processed breakfast foods.
Oh, I love that.
It's like a bold statement.
Bold statement, but I think it speaks to
Yeah.
the detrimental impact that these like highly processed,
Yeah.
sugar-laden breakfast options have on our health.
Yeah, they're just like disrupting our glucose levels.
Totally contributing to inflammation
Yeah.
and leaving us feeling like anything but nourished.
Yeah, it's like, let's reclaim breakfast.
Yes.
As a time for like genuine nourishment.
Yes, set the tone
To set the tone for the day.
for a vibrant, energized day.
And, you know, it makes me think about, again, those people who are managing diabetes.
Yeah.
This is where, like, understanding glucose
Yeah.
and making those smart food choices
Absolutely.
is, like, so crucial.
Yes. And, you know, that Defender product we mentioned
Yeah.
might be something worth checking out
Yeah.
for additional support.
For sure.
There's a link in the episode description.
Yeah, and we'll put it at https.tinyurl.com/TT Defender Sugar Defender, https://tinyurl.com Defender Sugar Defender 2.
Perfect.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yes.
what are, like, some key takeaways?
Okay, so I think the biggest one is awareness.
Okay.
Start paying attention to your body's response to different foods.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel after a big bowl of pasta
Yeah.
compared to a balanced meal with protein and veggies?
Yeah.
Those subtle cues offer really valuable insights.
And don't forget those hacks,
The hacks.
like the savory breakfast,
Savory breakfast, yeah.
loading up on veggies,
Yes, veggies first.
putting clothes on those carbs,
Get some clothes on those carbs, yes.
and, like, moving your body.
Movement, so important.
Those little changes make a big difference.
They do. And, you know, don't underestimate the power of, like, sleep.
Yes. Sleep is so important.
Stress management, staying hydrated.
It's like the foundation.
Foundation of a thriving body.
It's so empowering
It is.
to realize that we have so much control
It is.
over our health and well-being.
It's not about perfection.
Yeah.
It's not about rigid rules.
What's about progress?
It's about progress.
Not perfection.
Exactly. Making gradual,
Yeah.
sustainable shifts.
Sustainable. I love that word.
Nourishing your body and mind.
Yeah.
It's about honoring your unique journey.
Okay, so I think we covered a lot today.
We did. It was a good one.
I hope everyone listening feels like as inspired and empowered as I do.
Me too.
And before we go, I want to leave you with a final thought-provoking question.
Okay, hit me.
If you could create one law to improve the world's relationship with food,
Ooh,
what would it be?
that's a good one.
It's a big question,
It is a big question.
but I think it's worth thinking about
I agree.
as we continue on our journeys toward greater health and well-being.
I love that question. It really makes you think.
Yeah, and we encourage you to, like, share your thoughts
Yeah.
in the comment section of this episode.
Please do.
And if you want to, like, learn more about glucose,
Yeah.
definitely check out Jessie and Chospe's book,
Yes.
Glucose Revolution.
So good.
You can also find her on Instagram
Yes.
at Glucose Goddess.
For daily inspiration.
Yeah, and a vibrant community.
Yes.
And if you're interested in that Defender product that we talked about,
Yeah.
you can find a link in the episode description.
Perfect.
Or visit https://tinyurl.com /Lister. https://tinyurl.com Defender Sugar Defender.
Great.
Thanks for joining us.
This was fun.
We hope you learned a lot and feel inspired
Yes. Inspired to take action.
to take action.
Yeah.
Until next time, stay curious
Stay curious.
and keep exploring.
Keep exploring.